Exponent rules. A lot of times people struggle in calculus not because they don't know calculus, but because they don't have the best algebra skills. So let's talk about exponent rules. Those rules are, if I have x to the a times x to the b, that's x to the a plus b. And if I have x to the a raised to the b, that's x to the a times b. If I have x to the a over x to the b, that is x to the a minus b. If I have 1 over x to the a, that's x to the negative a. And if I have anything to the 0 power, that is 1. So these are some exponent rules to get you started. Now, an example of each of those is, say I had x squared times x cubed. This is really like 2 x's, and this is really like 3 x's. And so you can just add up the exponents and say this is really x to the 2 plus 3, or x to the 5th. Whereas if I had x squared cubed, you can multiply these guys and say x to the 6, because this is saying you have 3 of x squared. So you have x squared, x squared, x squared. So you have 2, 4, 6 x's. Here is subtraction. So if you have like x to the 7 over x to the 5th, you had 7 on top, 5 on bottom. So how many do you have? X squared. It works with negative as well. Like if I had x cubed and x to the 8, I could say this is x to the 3 minus 8, so x to the negative 5, which would be 5 x's on the bottom. So, because imagine if you had 3 x's on top, you have 8 x's on bottom, these 3 would cancel, and you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 x's left, and understood to be 1 on top. So 1 over x to the 5th, or x to the negative 5th. This one, if you have a power in the bottom, 1 over x squared, that's x to the negative 2. Sometimes people want to make this a fraction. Do not make it a fraction. You're just moving this up, and when you move it up, you keep this number the same, but you change its sign. Oh, and that other one I didn't go over is the b root x to the a, x to the a over b. So like if I have x to the cube root, and a 2 here, that's x to the 2 thirds. So again, this will be key when we go to take derivatives, antiderivatives. It's really important that you know your exponent rules.